Hey guys, Trey Catch coming at you here with an exciting contest announcement for the next 4 weeks for our receptionist team. And that is knowing that this is the biggest 4 weeks of recruiting for the entire year. I want to make the contest a little more exciting than the normal day-to-day weekly grind. So here's going to be the contest for the next 4 weeks. We're going to be giving away free manicures and pedicures. So you have to be on the receptionist conference call in order to get in the drawing. But so long as you are on it and you have at least a 35% PR show for the week, you will get in the drawing. And Mariah will be announcing the winners, getting the address, and mailing I guess a gift card or an Amazon card or something like that for them to be able to utilize, or for you to be able to utilize it to get a free manicure and pedicure. I want to give you a few just tips. I know that the standard for receptionist PR show is 30%, but I want to help you get it up over 35 and even to 40%. So just a couple of quick keys that I have found have helped some of the many receptionists that I've trained over the years. Number one, guys, is you got to understand that you got to treat the caller like a person and not an object. And what I mean by that is it's very easy to just simply look at the call as a name and a phone number, not treat the person on the other end of the phone like a person. And what I mean by that is that you got to make sure you make a sincere and deep connection with each person that you talk to. That doesn't mean you spend 5 or 10 or 15 minutes talking to them about where they go to school, but it does mean that when you find out where they go to school, you make a connection about that. Or if you find out what they're studying and there's a connection there that you personally have, you talk about that for a little bit. But it is important to make sure that you treat them like a person and not just simply an object, not just another name and number on your list. Understand that each person that you call could be the next manager with our company. It could be the next All-American with our company. It could be the next 10K fast starter. Now, they could also very well be somebody who already has another job and isn't interested. But you know what, guys? Sometimes the person on the other end of the phone is somebody who, isn't even looking for a job themselves. Maybe they have a friend that's looking for a job. But if you present a comfortable and warm conversation on the other end of the phone, they may be interested in at least coming in for an interview, checking it out, and maybe even becoming somebody who could become a manager. That was me. When I first started with the company, I had another job. I wasn't even looking for a job. But after talking to the friendly person on the other end of the phone, I said, you know what, I'll check it out. And it ended up becoming a career for me. So treat the person like a person and not just an object. The second key that I'll give you guys is making sure that when it comes to the job description and it comes to the actual approach, you stick to it. If you start winging it, or even if you know it very well and you just do it from memory and you don't actually follow word for word everything that's said, what's going to end up happening is it won't feel authentic. You'll kind of miss words. You'll accidentally say the wrong thing, or more importantly, give the wrong impression. So it is important that you actually stick to the script. It does work, so make a sincere connection, but then when it comes to the actual approach itself, you want to stick to it, because that way it makes it a lot easier to schedule the appointment. The third thing, guys, is making sure they're very comfortable with the directions. And what I mean by that is don't just give them the address, actually explain to them where it is so they can feel comfortable knowing how to get here. If they have a general idea of about where it is, and you give them an exact address to be able to put in their GPS, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable with it. Make sure they write down the address as well, because what that'll happen is that way, even if their phone dies, they can be able to plug it in. And make sure they also have the phone number there. So that way, again, if their phone dies, they have an alternate way to get in touch with us. So following so those are kind of 3 big keys that I've got for you, is making sure, number one, treat the person like a person. Number 2 is make sure you're following the approach. Number 3 is make sure you're following the directions and make sure they know exactly how to get to the office. And the last key that I'll give you guys, and it's just a very simple key, but one that I have found helps a lot with questions. I know a lot of times people ask questions, and a lot of times they'll ask it right at the very beginning of the approach. Well, guys, if you answer it the right way, you can take control of the conversation and still get through the approach, which will allow you to schedule it and get them in for an interview. And so whatever they say, if they immediately start asking questions, just say, hey, I tell you what, I'll tell you what, Trey, that's a great question. If you wait 1 second, I'll get you all the information that I have here, and then any further information would need to be answered by a manager in your interview. So, but just that simple phrase of, hey, that's a great question. Let me get you all the information I have here. What that does is it puts somebody at ease. It doesn't make it look like you're trying to dodge the question or force them. It actually gives an impression, which it is the truth, is that you're going to give them all the information that you have in order to be able to get them what they want, which is really just a basic understanding before they come in for an interview. We give a lot more information over the phone via our phone approach than any other normal organization does. When somebody calls in to apply. Normally somebody calls in to apply, says, hey, you guys still hiring? They say, sure, come on in and fill out an application. A lot of times they'll apply and they won't even tell them what jobs they have open until they get there. If you go apply online, you can find a lot more information. But so do we. We have a ton of information online. But a lot of times what people do is they'll call and they'll just say, yeah, come on in and fill out an application. Well, we actually give them a brief description of the position and tell them that we're going to go over a lot more information in an interview. So in the whole interview process, we give a lot more information than most companies do. So it is important to make sure that your job as a receptionist, just to get them in feeling comfortable, because if somebody feels comfortable, somebody feels listened to, somebody feels appreciative, somebody feels happy on the other end of the phone, they want to replicate that experience, and so they're going to come in. And I do feel that the number one reason why somebody shows up for an interview is because as they're listening on the other end of the phone, they're like, man, do I feel good having this conversation? Yes, okay, well then I want to come in because I like this, versus just feeling like like you're just another number. So use those tips to help you out. Make sure you get yourself in the drawing this week by scheduling at least 15 PRs and getting at least a 35% show. Mariah will be recognizing all the top performers and doing the drawing on next week's receptionist call. So she'll re-announce the call and she'll re-announce the contest this week, so that you can be aware of it, but then make sure you bring it so that this way, next week you could be in the drawing to win the first of 4 mani-pedis. So you guys have an awesome week and an even better weekend next weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.